Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks, wherever you are, whenever you might be watching my video. Today we're going to make meatloaf burgers. My mama made these all the time when I was a kid, and basically what it is you make meatloaf, but instead of making it into a loaf, you make it into burgers. I know there's probably a lot of other names for this, but I'm going to show you how my mama made it, and this is how I make it. We're going to use ground beef chuck. We're going to use this green pepper, and I went ahead and bought me some colored peppers to make, to make it nice and colorful. Then we're going to use an onion, and I'm going to use some mushrooms, and I'm going to use some eggs, and sometimes not, I put bread in there. I'm deciding not to put bread in it this time. So let me get everything going, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I've got my peppers and my onions prepped, and I'm also going to use this tired old onion over here, and I've got my mushrooms drained. So I'm going to send them through my Black & Decker here, and notice I have the blade up. I'm going to show you a little trick here, y'all. I'm going to send it through the blade part, not the shredding part. So just a second, let me get that started and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I'm going to put this through one time through the blade part. Okay, so be right back. Okay, y'all, here's my little trick. Notice that since I sent it through the blade part, there is still big slices. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is send it through the blade part again. What that will do is, instead of giving me minced, which this part of the blade would give me minced, sending it through the slicer part twice gives me nice small slices without giving me minced pieces that will just disappear into the meatloaf. So now I'll send this through a second time and I'll bring you right back. Okay, see how sending it through the slicer twice, instead of giving me little bitty pieces, now it did give me some, but it gave me a nice chunk. See? Very nice. I love sending it through the slicer part twice when this is what I'm after instead of mince. So now we're going to work on the meat. Now I have ground beef chuck here, and I have a 5-pound package. I'm going to use about 4 pounds of it in here. So let me get that out of there. I'm saving a pound of it because I'm making me some chili meat for some tortillas and stuff. So let me get that out of the package and in here, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, y'all, I got about 4 pounds of meat in there. Got about 1 pound of meat back there. That's where I'm making my Mexican. And now I'm going to add my eggs. I'm adding 2 eggs, and then I'll get out my spices. Okay, now here's the spices I'm going to add. I'm going to add my garlic here. If I can get some of it broke up down in there, I may have to refill this jar and get some fresh. I'm going to add some beef bouillon, that Orrington Farms beef bouillon. I'm going to add some chopped chives. I'm going to add some liquid smoke. I'm going to add some black pepper, and I'm going to add some salt. Now, y'all, I don't really have a hard, fast recipe on this is how I make my meatloaf burgers. What I do is I always put onions in it. I always put peppers in it. If I have the mushrooms, then I put mushrooms in it. And sometimes I'll put eggs in it, and sometimes I won't. and sometimes I put bread in it, and sometimes I won't. But I always put the peppers, the onions, and of course the meat. So now let me get my spices. I don't have a tried and true, this is how much I use, but I'll tell you about how much I'm using. Okay, y'all, there's my spices. I used about a teaspoon of the Orrington Farms beef base. I used about a tablespoon of salt, and I use just regular old table salt. I used about a half a teaspoon of the liquid smoke. I used about tablespoon of the chopped chives, about a teaspoon of black pepper, and y'all, I am not going to tell you how much garlic I used, because if you measure your garlic, that's nigh on to a sin, y'all. Garlic, you just use a lot of garlic, but just don't tell Ernie I put it in here. So now I'm going to get this all mixed up. Now I want to point out something. Did y'all notice that normally when you slice onions or you chop up onions, you want to drain the liquid out? I did not drain the liquid out because I want that liquid from those onions to help flavor this meat. So let me get this all mixed up, and yes, sirree, Bob, I'm going to use my hands. I got them all nice and real scrubby cleaned, and I'm going to use my hands to mix this up, and I'll bring you back. Okay, y'all, I've got my meat all mixed up there. Now I'm going to separate it into ball size, what I think would be good size for a hamburger, and I want to put them on this plate. So let me get my hamburgers portioned out here. Okay, I got my burgers portioned out here. I think I counted 6 meals. You know, one for me, one for Ernie, so that's 6 meals. And I got this much left. And what I did is I took this pie pan and I sprayed it with some non-stick spray, you know, like Pam. And I'm going to stick that in there. And then I'm going to cover it with tin foil, so that all I have to do when I'm ready to cook it is just pop the whole thing into the oven. So let me get that done, and I'll show you how I freeze these. Of course, we're going to have 2 here in just a minute for to show you what they do, what they taste like, and Arnie can do his official taste test. But let me get that all done up, and we'll be back. Okay, y'all, now here's what I do. I buy these cheap sandwich bags, and I do this for a lot of the meat that I freeze. I buy these cheap sandwich bags, and I put whatever I'm portioning in these cheap sandwich bags, but then I put them in a regular heavy-duty freezer bag. So now my portions are in there. I can take them out, 1 bag or 2 bags or however many bags I want. But there's my portions, and they're all in this bag and in my freezer. Now, if I had long-term freezer storage, I probably would do something a little bit different. But y'all, this is like, we only go month to month as far as freezer food goes. So now that I've got my portion here in this bag, I will make it a nice hamburger size. There we go. On to the next one. Nice hamburger size. And they thaw faster like this too. On to the next one. So you get the idea. I'll bring you back. And there I've got my meatloaf all nice and shaped really good, so I can put it, wrap it up with tin foil. And there's the burgers I'm getting ready to cook. So we'll be back as soon as I get these all nice and flat and in the bag. Okay, there you go, y'all. Look at there. Nice and flat. That'll lay nice and flat in my freezer until it gets frozen solid, and then I can put it upright if I need to. There's my meatloaf, And now we're going to start on these burgers. I'm going to flatten them out and start them cooking. So I'll bring you back when these burgers are cooked and Ernie can do his official taste test. And while I'm at it, I'll let that do a little bit of cooking too. So we'll be back. Oh, and notice that I still labeled this. Even though this won't stay in my freezer more than, say, a month, and it'll be just fine in there for about a month, I still label it because you never know when one or two burgers might get stuck to the back and forgotten about, but I'll know when I did them. Now that right there, I'll probably make that, well, today's Friday, I might make that on Monday, I don't know, but I'll show you when I do, if I remember to. So we'll be back when we get them burgers cooked. Okay, there you go, y'all. Meatloaf burgers. Now that's the way Ernie likes his burger. So we're going to have burgers and we're going to have a little side salad. I'm getting ready to heat up my tortilla here. I'm having mine on a tortilla. But here you go. Ernie, go ahead and take a bite of that burger and tell everybody what you think of it. Be sure to talk nice and clear. So now y'all, you can use this recipe for burgers. You can use it for a meatloaf. You can use it for look at that. Ooh, that pepper sticking out right there. That looks good. You can use it for meatballs. You can just use it for all kinds of things. We just really love it. My mama taught me this recipe years and years and years ago. She made it all the time when I was a kid, and I make it now. Sorry, y'all, Ernie was coughing. So, Ernie, what do you think?
Yes.
Well, yes, what?
That is good.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and take you another bite. How do you like them spices and that stuff in there? Now, you know I've made this before, but, you know, you got to say on camera what you think. So, what do you think? His mouth is full. So, what do you think?
Good.
Good? Good. So, there you go, y'all. Meatloaf burgers. They're really good. Add your touch to it if you like. And like I said, I always use onions and peppers. And the other stuff, well, that's kind of like gravy. If I got it, I use it. If I don't, I don't. So thanks for watching, y'all. And here comes my wrap. And there's that. Ooh! That's what I'm making some Mexican there, y'all. Gosh. That's hot stuff. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye. See how I heat up my tortilla? Old-fashioned way. Oops. Gotta be careful, though. You can burn it, but those little bitty burnt parts on a tortilla, they taste good. Whoa. Bye.